Hello everyone, welcome or welcome back to my channel. This is Hazel Lucia Tarot. I am Stephanie and today's reading is what people think of your style. We're going to see how either the people around you, strangers, or just anybody else in general think of how you look, how you dress, and anything else that pertains to your style. This could even include your mannerisms, the way you carry yourself, and other small physical details about you. We have 3 piles here for you today. Pile 1, we have the Raw Emerald, and this card, Key Lime Mermaid. Pile 2, we have the Hematoid Quartz, and this card, Signore Pipistrello. And pile 3, we have Clear Quartz and Butterscotch, this little card. These cards are from a bakery in Florida called Gideon's Bakehouse, and they make the most amazing cookies, absolute amazing. They're usually in Disney Springs and another location in Orlando. I might link them below. I'm not sponsored, but I really do love the aesthetic. And it's got a bit of a spooky vibe that I really like, so you can check them out. Or maybe if you've been to Gideon's Bakehouse, let me know what your favorite cookie is, or your favorite cake, whatever you love from that bakehouse, let me know in the comments below. But I will be ready for your reading whenever you are. Hello there, pile 1. If you chose the Raw Emerald and the Key Lime Mermaid card, then we have your reading here for you about what people think of your style, your appearance. Right off the bat, I am getting strong ethereal vibes, mostly because of the mermaid card. This might be my group of mermaid girls, mermaid boys, people who just like mermaids. So I'm getting like really long flowy hair, or your hair is just being something wild, beach waves, or something, I don't know, just something gorgeous about your hair regardless. And an ethereal essence for sure, especially in the face or maybe in the way you like to dress. It's not going to be for everybody. And I feel like I'm getting ahead of myself because I do want to read from this card. These are collectible cards from a bakery in Orlando, Florida called Gideon's Bakehouse. And they have a really cute but spooky aesthetic to them. So this is kind of like their lore for this key lime mermaid. Florida legend tells us numerous tales of early Spanish explorers encountering pods of beautiful raven-haired mermaids they called las agrias. Many are familiar with their story, but it is a lesser-known truth that mermaids are rooted in the secret history of the key lime. Documents have proven that Florida fishermen were the first to be gifted the flavorful fruit from mermaids, who taught them how to transform the key lime into delightful desserts. It's giving making lemonade out of lemons, but also the raven hair. Maybe some of you have like really dark hair. It doesn't necessarily have to be black, but maybe there's something about like dark long hair here coming through. And definitely something about your beauty being very captivating, very alluring for sure. It's giving siren energy. Let's go ahead and look at the rest of your oracles to see what people think of your style and your looks. We also have Petro, something very calm and serene. We have the Goat and Willow, overcoming obstacles. Some of you could have a rather, I know this is going to be weird, but like maybe a goat-like look to you. I'm thinking especially of like if you have facial hair, you might have a goatee and it looks like really good on your face. We also have North Node, future. Ascendant, which is funny because ascendant is the sign, the sign where you give off that vibe, if that makes sense. It's like your outer appearance, how you look on the outside, your mask to the world in astrology. So I feel like you probably have something like Venus and on the ascendant, which would make you very beautiful, or like some kind of particular planet on the ascendant that really colors the rest of your look. So for example, if you have Moon on the ascendant, you probably dress again very ethereal or very comfortable depending on what you're going for. I mean, you could do both. If you have Venus on the ascendant, you just have really great aesthetics regardless. And if you have something like Mars on the ascendant, you probably just wear something that you can move really well in because you're very action oriented. I'm saying that as a Mars ascendant myself. Mars on the ascendant myself. North Node makes me think that there is something futuristic about you. So you keep up with the trends. You keep up with whatever is in the now. So you might clean out your closet every few years just to make sure that the styles you have are what people are wearing. Not saying that you care so much about trends, but definitely, well, if it's not trends, like the actual fashion trends, it could be your own personal trends. Like, what are you really into? What are your needs when it comes to your wardrobe? What are you feeling? What are you vibing? What are you aiming for? So you could take it to mean either way here. But there's definitely a feeling here that you keep your look updated. You make it a point to stay updated on your look. And then we also have independent, again, giving me the sense that you just kind of wear what you want, but at the same time, you're not. If you follow a trend, or you may set trends, honestly, I feel like you would be the first to take up a certain trend, or you may do something before it really becomes popular. But even if you do take up a trend, you do it because you want to and because you kind of just want to show off how much different you like to dress than other people. You definitely take risks when it comes to your style. And there's definitely a feeling here that you do what you want when it comes to your clothes. You don't really care if it's, in fashion or not. You follow what you need, like practical. I forget where I've heard this, but somebody, I want to say it was like on some kind of fashion show, whether it was Project Runway or something. But fashion should be practical, and I feel like that is something that you definitely follow. So let's say, well, for example, I've seen like a lot of moms, especially young moms, decide to be in athleisure, like leggings and crop tops and hoodies, because they're always moving around, having to take care of their kids, but still look good. So that's an example that I'm being shown. Or again, if you are, for example, if you have, like, let's say you work in an attorney's office. Most attorneys that I've seen tend to dress very nicely, especially because there are times when they have to go to court. You might just decide to dress really nice, really professional, very clean cut on a regular basis, because that's mostly what your wardrobe will consist of. It all depends on what you do. Another example is like if you're a school teacher, you might dress a little bit more colorful, especially with small kids, just because, it's always fun to dress for that particular group. There is something here about knowing your audience as well. So even though you're independent, I feel like you will dress well for the occasion or for the people around you, if that makes any sense. Because I was also being shown like somebody who's in theater, like you work within the theater either as an actor or as an like anything else around it. So there could be something there where you kind of dress a little flamboyantly if you are in the theater. Maybe if you're a costume designer, you really know how to tailor or customize your own clothing, or really just make your own clothing, depending on what the situation is. But this is definitely somebody who does their own thing because they know that if they dress for themselves, for their own body type, for their own lifestyle, for what they do, they will look better. It will make sense. You wouldn't want to dress wrong in the wrong situation or in the wrong setting, essentially. Not everybody can pull this off. So I'm going to read from the book for the rune Petro, because I was getting something very casual here, because the guy is wearing like these look a little bit like sweatpants and a t-shirt. So I do get the feeling that this might be my group of people who love to work out or go to like meditation retreats. But we have this rune, Petro, meaning cup or container. This rune suggests the revelation of secrets or hidden knowledge. You could soon receive important information or learn something that sheds light on a situation that has frustrated or confused you. There will soon be significant revelation of some kind, but the most likely source of that revelation will be from the intuitive wisdom already within you. Drawing this card could be a sign that you would benefit greatly from taking some time out to meditate and become more attuned to the still, calm voice within that knows what is your best interest. In addition, it could also be a warning that you could be distracted from what really matters by external or material forces. What is external can never bring you fulfillment. Within you is all the magic, mystery, excitement, and knowledge that you need for a rewarding and successful life. I was getting two things out of that, and I guess you could be on either end of the spectrum because it's kind of the same thing. When it comes to intuition and dressing, I'm always the kind of person who likes to sit for a moment in bed or before I get dressed and think, what do I need to wear today? depending on like the weather, where I'm going, what the situation is, what appointments I may have. Again, there's something here about dressing right for the occasion. And it's odd. There have been days where I've told myself I really just need to dress down and wear a t-shirt and leggings because I'm going to be doing a lot, and I will end up doing a lot that day even if I didn't realize I was going to. Or especially with shoes are always the biggest thing. Like if I know it's going to rain, or if I get the strong indication that it's going to rain, I will wear waterproof shoes or shoes that can be worn in the rain. Or if I know I'm going to be walking a lot, I will wear very comfortable sneakers. It's that kind of situation. So I feel like some of you are definitely in that end of the spectrum, and the other end of the spectrum is people who take way too long to dress, way too long to figure out what they want to wear, what's going to look good on them. I feel like you could be either or maybe you've been each one in different situations. If you do find yourself being the person who takes forever to dress, and it's not a matter of time management, I do encourage you to kind of meditate to see what it is that you would be better or more comfortable wearing, or to do some sort of like a capsule wardrobe, like have a good set of clothing that you can wear for whatever and whenever, like just throw it on and be out the door. This is my Venus in Aries coming through, because I like to just be on the go when it comes to the way I style myself. I can get ready very quick and it kind of bothers some people, but I do feel that for some of you who need the advice, do look into investing in a capsule wardrobe. Like I said, if it's that time within your life where you really need to purge some clothes and start something new, make a wardrobe that is classic, timeless, easy to put on. Like you're able to grab 3 pieces of clothing, put it on, and it will look great no matter which way you put it on or what the weather is. Something about knowing your layers is big here as well, especially if you find yourself in an area where the weather is very unpredictable, which it actually has been in my area for a while now. Yesterday, I literally saw sunshine like 5 times and rain 3 times, all within the same setting. I was literally in the same place because of flash rain and whatnot. But, and honestly, that weather kind of reminds me of Florida, which is funny because we have the Key Lime Mermaid. Maybe some of you have a big connection to Florida, or you're from there, or you live there. But this is what I'm getting with the goat and willow. I was getting, like I said, some of you have a very goat-like look to you. So I'm thinking of somebody with like a very particular kind of face shape, but it's cute because I'm thinking of like how it's just weird. I see this more in men than anything, especially when they have like a goatee. That's what I keep thinking of. If you're a man and you have a goatee, that looks good on you, and people really do love that about your style. In general, I feel like people really appreciate the effort that you put into how you look, because even if it's small, I feel like it pays off, whatever it may be, because you really pay attention to details. And you know what? I'm just thinking the goat makes me think of Capricorn. So some of you could be Capricorns or have Capricorn rising. And Capricorns really do dress however they want, and they dress to impress regardless of what their aesthetic is or what the situation is. I know plenty of Capricorns, and when they put thought into what they are wearing, they get a lot of compliments. I have a sister who's a Capricorn, and she definitely knows how to dress well for whatever it is that her aesthetic is. Like she knows how to dress in order to impress people. Not saying that you're going out of your way to impress people, but I do feel that regardless, whatever effort you do put in, it's very impressive. And on the opposite side of that, I feel like you just wear what you want and still end up looking good, because you've kind of already mastered the art of knowing what it is that is good for you and what will suit your body type, your height, your complexion. I feel like some of you might do research on what would look good on you. So especially when it comes to like the seasons, the color seasons, maybe you already know what your color season is, and you know how to work, especially for those of you with a very particular kind of hair, you know how to work with your hair. Because let's face it, hair can take up a lot of our time if we don't take the time to get to know it. So, because not everybody has the same hair. Doesn't matter who you are, where you're from. I don't know 2 people who have the exact same hair. Similar for sure, but not the exact same hair. And people notice this. I feel like you get a lot of compliments, even if it's on small things. What else is coming through here? Like I said, the North Node is usually what you aim to be. So I feel like your style has come a long way. I feel like in the past you may have dressed just like everybody else to fit in, because we're all susceptible to that, especially when we're growing up and in high school and we want to be, just like all the cool people and wear the same things. And I feel like you've gone through your phase of that. There's no shame to that. But I feel like that particular phase really allowed you to find your own thing, because you realize that, well, everybody's wearing these things, but those things don't look good on me. So everybody might have these shoes and they look great on them, but they don't look good on me. Or I have particular kinds of feet, so I can't wear the shoes that everybody else is wearing. Or especially, like, I feel like this was a bigger thing in the past. Like, conventional beauty was very different from the kind of beauty that you are. So it didn't make sense to dress like the models in magazines or the runways or whomever was setting these beauty standards. So I feel like that's part of the reason you really made an effort to dress for you and dress however you want. But overall, I get that people are very impressed by this, and people really do notice this. Whatever makes you unique is what people like about you. So when you play up to what makes you stand out, what makes you independent, shall we say, people will really notice this. So let's say you have like, I don't know, I'm just gonna go with curly hair because it's unique enough that you don't see that not everybody has it. But when people take care of their curls or their hair, their particular kind of hair type, it looks really good. And I feel like people really appreciate this about you. Or if you have a very particular kind of body, for example, I'm a petite woman, I'm 5'1", and I don't know exactly my kibby body type is, if I even have one. But when I dress for my features, when I make sure that my clothes are the exact cut that I'm supposed to wear, because the standard cut of clothing is not going to fit me, I've noticed that I look more like me. I look more, well put together. And people may appreciate this. Even if they don't say it out loud, they may just look at, like, I feel like you get this a lot, pile one. If they don't say it out loud, they may just look at you and think, that person will dress really nice, or they look really good. Especially if you're a woman, I feel like you get a lot of those kinds of thoughts from straight men, or from men who aren't into fashion. Like, a gay man will straight up tell you if your outfit is great. But I feel like this is an odd thing to say, but I've witnessed this and I know this. If you're Regardless of what you are or identify as, I feel like you get the attention of straight men, not in a what's the word? Not because they find you, physically attractive, though of course they could. They may just think the way you dress is cool for them, like, and especially if they don't care. That was a very weird thing, but it was coming through because I've seen it before. Like, I used to have the kind of style. I don't think so anymore, but I remember in college I used to have the kind of style that straight men would just like compliment everything I wore because they thought it was cool. I'm thinking of a particular set of boots that were like deep purple and they looked bulky, and I think it was weird for everybody else, but it was the 2010s. I think colorful clothing was very much in, even for me, because I don't think I'm that colorful in anything except my nails now. But for my pile one, let's move on to the tarot to see what else people think of your style. This has set the vibe check for your style. So if this sounds like you, let's go ahead and go with the tarot. And if it doesn't sound like you could see it as something you will be embracing in the future. But if you don't see yourself doing that, again, we do have 2 other piles. I want you to take what resonates here. Let's go ahead and get 3 cards here. This is the Cozy Witch Tarot. I got it because it was the one that had the most people with different clothing. It was between this one and another one. So for my pile 1, we have Knight of Pentacles. Slowly but surely, you're going places. There's something about timelessness within your wardrobe. So that thing about a capsule wardrobe, the whole point of it is to have like timeless pieces of clothing that will never go out of style, or that will just match everything. Therefore, it's easy to put together. We also have 2 of Cups. Some people are like the pumpkin to your spice. Some of you do have a little bit of spice to your wardrobe. So it's like you may add a little fun or surprising factor to it, whether it's, a pop of color, or maybe something trendy, like maybe just a small little version of a trend or a timeless version of a trend that you may add here and there just to, you know, be part of the thing. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with following trends every now and then for fun. We also have 13 Broom. Tidy up your life so you can make space for something better. What did I say about purging the wardrobe and making space for new clothes or finding new clothes? I feel like this is definitely your calling right now, pile one. So if you felt that you haven't had the time to do that, a spirit is coming through to let you know that once you let go of the clothes that don't fit you or are not your style, they will bring in new clothing, whether it's on sale, whether it's gifted, or there's just, it's going to be like a very magical way that it will come in, essentially. We have the Star. Have faith that healing is in the forecast. I brought up my purple boots from years ago, and look, this girl is wearing purple boots here. I love that. I also mentioned hair, like how you take care of your hair, people really appreciate. And she's got her hair in braids, which I know takes a long time to do and a lot of like skill, effort, and time and money. So like I said, for those of you who put effort into your particular kind of beauty, people will really appreciate it. And then one more, we have Queen of Pentacles. There's no need to sacrifice. You can have it all. I'm hearing that some of you might come into, like, this is not going to be for everybody because I know not everybody likes designer clothing, but some of you may end up owning like pieces of clothing that will go up in value, because there's this thing called an investment piece. For those of you who haven't heard of it, it's buying a really expensive item. It's usually something like a purse or shoes from a very particular designer, and usually it's expensive, but you know it will last a long time, and if you will resell it, it'll be worth a lot more. This is especially true with like particular sneakers. I'm thinking of Jordans. Like, how long have Jordans been around? Definitely within my lifetime. And I feel like when you resell those and take care of those, you can make a lot of money because they can become very hard to find. Or again, purses are notorious for this. If you buy a really nice purse in a classic color, in a classic kind of model, and you clean it and take care of it, and of course sell it years from now, it can go up in price. So that's not going to be for everybody. Another way to see this is you could inherit like really nice pieces of jewelry, because she's got like these earrings, these vibrant green earrings, and I'm thinking of like family heirlooms in the forms of jewelry. Maybe you've inherited like really beautiful gold jewelry from family members, whether it's earrings, necklace, bracelet, rings especially, I think are the biggest thing. And it's very fashionable. You may wear that from time to time and you don't really care about what people think about it because it's got meaning. Because Pentacles energy, it can be expensive, it can be timeless, but it could also be very sentimental when it comes to the things that have been passed down from your family. I get that, especially with the Two of Cups. But alrighty, let's start off here. And again, I'm glad I chose this deck because I love what the girls are wearing in this particular tarot deck. And it is going to be mostly women in this deck. So if you identify as a man, just take it how it resonates for you. But starting off with the Knight of Pentacles, like I said, there's something classic and timeless about what you wear, but also practical. Practicality is big within this pile. But just because it's practical doesn't have to mean it's boring or that it won't suit you. It could also mean that you make something practical work for you, or you make something practical your style. So especially if you have to wear something for work, you make sure that you add a little bit of your own style to it. I'm thinking of the women who work in a professional work setting at an office, but like to wear like cute Lolita type clothing, like the blouses with all the ruffles and the cute hearts and stuff. And sure, they don't go full Lolita style, but they will wear like the one blouse that stands out with like professional pants. I've seen that and I love that. And if I had that kind of work environment, I would definitely do that. Also, investment pieces. You're not afraid of spending a little bit more money on good quality clothing, or clothing that you feel is more your style. Like whatever it is that you like, you will spend a little bit extra just because it's the aesthetic that you go for. So I'm getting that. But also I'm noting the scarves in both of these cards. So maybe some of you really, really love scarves, or you love to accessorize. Oh, she's got a little deer brooch here. Maybe some of you like to wear brooches. And then your hair, like I said, extra attention to the hair is important here. Maybe some of you dye your hair like alternative colors, not just natural colors, but very particular colors. And it just seems to suit you. But I really do love this. Accessorizing and being practical. I feel like accessories are the best way to show off your fashion, because if you have an umbrella, you might go for an umbrella that is your signature color, or again, it's just the style that you like, or represents something that you really love. I'm thinking of like, I've seen this umbrella and I don't know where it's from, but it had like Vincent van Gogh's Starry Night. So, and I think the person I saw carry it was somebody who was really into fine art, or was it was some particular kind of art, but regardless, that was like one way of them to express themselves. Sorry if you notice a cut, pile one, but I had stuff to attend to. Regardless, let's move on to the Two of Cups. I do feel that, well, one, you make a lot of friends through the kind of style that you have. So maybe you and your friends are all into fashion, or you like to go shopping together, or you may consult each other for the kind of outfits that you want to plan. I'm getting that strongly. And then another odd thing is you definitely, whether you do this intentionally or not, but you definitely attract partners, romantic partners, through your style of dress. I feel like if you do have a partner currently, they're very much into whatever it is that you wear. They love how you wear it. They love how you look. They were definitely drawn to your look, because I'm seeing like a very particular style of look that your partner is like, yep, that's my person. As soon as they saw you and how, and this is mostly like your face, your hair, your makeup, jewelry, like when they saw your profile, they were like, that's my person. They just, oh, this is very sweet. Some of you have a partner or a person of interest that whenever they look at you, they're just very into that. Like, you definitely have a crush, whoever this person is. Even if it's your partner, I feel like they still crush on you when they look at you. It's like, oh, this person is just so fine. But regardless, I am feeling that your looks actually draw a little bit of a social attention. I'm looking at their hats. So some of you could wear hats, like just that's a regular thing for you. Or even if you don't like to wear hats, I feel like you look really good in them. Some people do have this where like either their head shape or their face, whatever it is about them, they're just able to carry hats a lot better than other people. And I feel like you have that. Or you may just like to wear hats, like I said. But I also love how fashionably these two people are so dressed. There's tights here. Maybe some of you wear striped tights. There's boots. Lots of boots in this particular layout. Another scarf, again, letting me know that some of you could accessorize really well, including scarves here. A lot of these, well, this deck in general is very autumnal themed, so maybe autumn or the fall is a particular, like your particular favorite style season. Like it's definitely your favorite to dress up in, because of, I feel like even like all over the world, it's, you get more options because you're actually putting on clothing as opposed to taking it off. I am getting though, yeah, you definitely attract partners with your style, or your partner, current partner, loves your style regardless. Just ask them. You don't even, I don't think you even have to ask them. You'll know. With the broom, this is the death card in this particular deck. They don't call it death, but like I said earlier, there's something here transformational about your style. I feel like every time you reinvent yourself, or every time you go through a life phase, your style changes. So when you look back at your pictures, you yourself may remain the same. I feel like there are certain things that still stay the same, but you will definitely go through phases, and this will show itself in the way you dress and the way you do your hair, especially. For example, maybe in your early 20s, you dressed a certain way, and then in your 30s, you dressed a certain way, and in high school, you dressed a certain way. Like, it's never the same. There's always like a reinvention of what it is that you like, but it still very much remains true to yourself, or true to the things that you were doing at the time. Like I said, some of you like to dress for whatever it is that you do. With the star, I'm getting that you definitely shine. When you glow up, whenever you dress up really nicely, people pay attention to you. People really notice you. I feel like you get a lot of compliments when you dress really well or when you dress in a certain way. You know how to dress for attention. Not saying that you always do, but if you had to, you would know how. And I feel like it works. You just know how to work a room, you know how to work a crowd. Again, theater kids are coming through. You just know how to dress well. And then the Queen of Pentacles, like I said, a lot of investment pieces here. Some of you might spend a little bit more on your articles of clothing than you'd like or than other people would, but that's just your preference and you're okay with that. And there is also something here about family heirlooms. You're probably going to have pieces of clothing or accessories that you will pass down to your kids, especially if it's like one of a kind or if it's particularly expensive. If not, it could have a sentimental meaning behind it, like maybe like somebody's wedding ring or yeah, I'm just getting like clothing pieces or jewelry pieces from a grandmother or even purses as well. Some of you might inherit this as well, especially once you get older or once, you know, at a certain, whenever somebody passes, you may inherit physical things. So you may not inherit money, but I do feel like you will inherit like jewelry or something that is definitely worth money. And I think some of you may not even want to sell it knowing that it's worth that much because it means a lot more to your family than that. But this is all I have for you today, Pile 1. Thank you so much for letting me read for you. If you feel like doing so, you can like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next reading. Take care. Hello there, my lovely Pile 2s. If you chose the fire quartz, then we have your reading here for you about what people think of your style, your look, your aesthetic, if you will. If you chose, let's see, Signore Pipistrello. So this is a character from a cute little bakery in Orlando, Florida called Gideon's Bakehouse. And this is kind of the lore of the little characters that they make up to go with their seasonal offerings. So let's read from the back. If we believe the rumors about the mysterious Signore Pipistrello, he was found orphaned in the Alps of northern Italy. Given the boy's peculiar looks, he was abandoned in a nearby village until a wealthy eccentric decided to raise him as his own. He exposed the unusual son to the most exemplary academics of his age, studying philosophy, alchemy, and music, eventually molding the young boy into a true Renaissance bat and a perfect gentleman for the ages. So definitely a very refined kind of energy is coming within you, Pile 2. Even if you don't dress that way, I feel like the way you carry yourself says a lot more than what you actually dress like. I do get the feeling that you probably love to dress up in evening wear, or there's something about the nighttime that you really dress up for. Maybe you just like nighttime looks. And this would include those of you who like to go to raves and such. I feel like you like to dress for the night regardless. You could be a nighttime person in general. Maybe that's just your lifestyle. But there's something very dignified here. I mean, look at him. He's got his little bow tie and his little pipe and his little jacket suit. I am getting strong masculine energy here. So some of you, regardless of your gender, I feel like you would look really good in like a clean-cut suit or clean-cut tailored outfits. If not, something with like sharpness to it. I'm getting shoulder pads for some reason. For those of you who like them, I know not everybody is into those, but something very refined here. You could be of Italian descent as well, because it did bring up Northern Italy, or you could just be really into that Italian aesthetic, like how the rich mob wife aesthetic was a thing for a while, or the male version of that as well, because Italian men do dress rather well. Yeah, I'm getting strong Måneskin vibes for some of you. That's not everybody, but like I said, nighttime, Italian, Italian designer clothing as well. That's not going to be everybody, of course. It could just be inspired from that area. But let's go ahead and get your oracles. This is going to give us a glimpse into how people perceive your style, what it may be, what else comes through with it. So we have Laguz. Oh, we have the water. I love that. So some of you definitely have a sport that you partake in, and I feel like that sport may influence how you dress. We have the sheep and blackberry devotion. Yeah, I was getting the feeling that some of you like finer quality clothing, so you're going to go for more natural fabrics like cotton and wool, because the sheep does provide us with wool. We also have square, semi-square, I can never say this word. Is it quincunx? Tension. Again, the sharpness is coming through, because the semi-square, it's literally sharp angles within astrology. Well, I guess they're all sharp angles, but this is going to be like that tension, kind of like you're trying to combine two different things that don't exactly fit, but at the same time they do, because we do have that sporty vibe here, and then we have the sophistication. But a lot of athletes do this, where they will dress, of course, when they're going to the gym because they work out for a living or they do physical activity for a living, but then they also have to dress down for like all the fancier events that they have to go to, especially professional public eye athletes that make a lot of money. I'm thinking of when Tom Brady was with Giselle Bündchen, and she was a fashion icon and he was known for American football. So it's that kind of thing, but combine them into one person. That's what I'm getting. And then the last card is Warrior. Yeah, you're a very active person. It's almost, okay, I'm seeing, this is very interesting. In my mind's eye, I'm seeing somebody like donning their jewelry as armor. So you might wear a lot of rings or a lot of bracelets, particularly made out of metal or out of particular gemstones if you're into that, for protection. Kind of like how I do sometimes. I'm not wearing them right now because my wrists are hurting. But I am getting the feeling that regardless of what you do, pile 2, you dress with purpose. You dress for a reason. Like you choose your outfit deciding, okay, what am I doing today and how do I want to come off? This is going to be my pile of people who, again, masculine energy is coming through. So it wouldn't surprise me if the majority of this pile was men. Men who identify as very masculine, of course. But like I said, you like fine quality things. And there's something about maybe some of you have really broad shoulders as well. Or again, model-esque energy is coming through, because even within like feminine models or models who identify as women, there's always a sharpness to the way they carry themselves, because they're meant to display clothing in a certain way, especially if you're tall and have broad shoulders. People in the fashion industry love that because it carries any kind of outfit really well. But let me go ahead and read from the book for Laguz here. There is also something here about, it's interesting because for some of you, you might be into natural fabrics, but then there's some of you who are also very much into like, what's it called? Advocating for animal rights or making sure that they're not being hurt. So it all depends on where you lie. Maybe these two things clash within you. Like you like to wear, for example, leather, but you also care about, animals, and you don't want to have to kill a cow to make a leather jacket. It's that kind of energy. So maybe you had to reconcile these two things within yourself, pile 2. It all depends on where you land on the spectrum. That doesn't have to be for everybody, of course. But with Laguz, meaning is fluid water. Laguz is the rune card representing water, and water is a universal symbol for emotion, both positive and negative. If this card appears, you are being encouraged to release your emotions and let them flow to the surface. Tears can be very cleansing, and emotions should be acknowledged and openly expressed. Don't hold back. Allow yourself to feel and live your life to the full. This rune also shines a light on the importance of being guided by your intuition, which expresses itself through feelings. What are your emotions trying to tell you? Another association with this card is the need for renewal. Perhaps rigid ideas are holding you back or stifling your creativity, and it is time to be more open-minded and to let the past go and start anew. Meditating beside a lake or river or visiting the seaside may help release creative blocks and bring renewed energy and inspiration. Several things. I was also getting there was an aesthetic of like being by the seaside. I forget what it was called, but like an older woman dressing for the beach kind of aesthetic. That's what I was getting. Some of you could like to dress for the beach, but in a very sophisticated way. It's not going to be like bikinis and surf shorts. You're more likely to dress in like in a more refined way if you like to be near the water, because I'm seeing like what's the aesthetic called? Sailor aesthetic, I guess. Maybe some of you are into that. Not everybody, of course. I feel like that's for a very particular place and time. But with emotion, I do get the feeling, because I was seeing, as I saw that Breakfast at Tiffany's, that opening scene where Holly Golightly is just staring into the window at Tiffany's with her sunglasses on and her outfit. But I was seeing the sunglasses as hiding emotions. So, and what was that saying? A lot of things are coming through. I'm sorry. I'm trying to collect my thoughts. But somebody, it was some famous lady who said, I'd rather be sad in a expensive car than sad in a poor car, or something, you know, least expensive car. So I feel like even if you are in a bad mood, you're still gonna dress well. Your emotions are not going to affect the way you look anyway, because you know that dressing well is of importance here. And even if you're in a bad mood, it'll help you either feel good or it'll help people treat you better for some reason. That's not going to be everybody, of course, but there is something here about your emotions not really influencing the way you dress. If anything, it's going to make you want to dress better. Again, the armor is coming through. If it's not in jewelry, it's in your makeup. It's in the way you put yourself together. It could be, yeah, your clothing or like your armor. It's kind of like putting on a costume and, you know, you have to play a role. That's not going to be for everybody, of course, but that was coming through very strongly. I am getting that this pile, even when they were younger, they probably looked older because they dressed older. Because I know people like this in high school, they would clearly be under 18, but they would always dress in like nice button-up shirts and slacks and leather shoes, and they would only be like 17, 18. But because they already had like an office job, or maybe they wanted to grow up very fast. I feel like this pile, whether you wanted to grow up fast, had to grow up fast, or you just like to dress again like an adult at a younger age, I feel like you really carry that well. And as you've gotten older, it's just become more comfortable for you to dress this way, as opposed to people who are learning how to dress, quote quote, like an adult, you know, well after college or something, once they get an actual career. This would be my pile of people who have had investment pieces that have lasted them decades. I feel like you probably still have your one fine leather belt, or like that purse that is timeless and classic and you probably bought for a lot of money, but you've used it so much that it was pretty much worth it. Same thing with shirts. This is going to be my pile of people who like designer clothing, for sure. In the first pile, it came through as well, but not as strongly. And this one, yes, like I said, Italian brands. We're talking about Versace, Gucci, and all the good stuff. Armani, I heard for some of you. Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if you've actually traveled the world specifically to go to places where you knew that good clothing would be available. Because especially if you live somewhere like I live in the US, where all you really have are malls, and not even really good ones at that, it's hard to find well-tailored good clothing and that kind of situation. If this doesn't sound like you, I feel like this is something you aspire to and you try to replicate as much as you can, regardless of your budget here. I do feel like a lot of you like to look well, regardless of your budget. Again, it could be due to your career. It could be due to the fact that you are in the public eye a lot. Or in some cases, some of you might have been given sponsorships, maybe. Or maybe some of you model. It all depends. I feel like some of you get free clothing from certain places and this is how it started, or that just kind of added to it. Or you were gifted some of this clothing as well. As far as your physical appearance, I'm not getting too much about your actual physical appearance. I don't know if some of you wear makeup, but it would be the same thing. Just wearing like, not designer makeup, but like expensive makeup. You would rather spend a little bit more for the good stuff. Definitely cologne. This would be my pile that likes to smell nice. It doesn't have to be an expensive cologne, but you definitely wear a scent that is very much you. And again, impressions are everything with this pile, regardless of where they are in life. And for some of you, if your job had to make you dress up nicer, I feel like you really owe a lot to that, because I'm seeing or hearing that some of you met your partner, your current partner or future partner, because you happen to dress really nice one day and they just found you very attractive. So yeah, there's something about first impressions here. But regardless, let's go ahead and move on to the tarot to see what and with devotion, yeah, this is why I was thinking about the partner, but also you're very devoted to your physical appearance. Like you put a lot of effort into it, or even if you don't, like you wouldn't scale it back unless you really had to. It's gonna be my pile of high maintenance people. If not, I feel like you will be one day, in a good way. Like this isn't a bad thing at all. But let's go ahead and get your tarot cards. This is gonna be from the Cozy Witch Tarot. for my pile 2, we have 10, good luck charm. If nothing seems to be going your way, cast a spell. Oh, some of you get your nails done really lovely. Those of you who wear glasses, you probably own several pairs, one, because you kind of change your glasses, reading glasses, by the way, with each outfit. And something about necklaces, you probably look really nice in necklaces. You have a nice neckline or neck or chest or something. You have King of Cups. Always compose yourself before giving a response. A lot about emotions. I'm wondering if this is like my water pile, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio, in particular Scorpio for some reason. Let's get more cards for you. We have Queen of Swords. Don't you dare lower your voice for anyone. Yeah, you're very outspoken about the choices you made. There's also a necklace here and glasses. It could almost be like this is that same lady, but in her youth. Some of you will retain your style going well into your old age. But like I said, it's like whatever it is that you wear, it ages well with you. We have the Empress. There is beauty to be found in every experience. I might have to censor this because she's breastfeeding, and I've seen breastfeeding be censored on YouTube before. There is beauty to be found in every experience. Yeah, very Venusian vibes from this pile. You are very well put together and very attractive. And I feel like people know this. You may not hear it because it's just so obvious. Like, I don't think people really compliment you enough on your style because you probably wear this every day and they're used to it. But people who may meet you for the first time may say this, but people who are used to you dressing this way probably don't. Libra vibes as well here. Let's get one more card or one more pull if there's more than one card. Yeah, okay, we have 3 cards. The Sun, give yourself permission to experience joy. Yeah, okay, so pile 2, you are very well put together. Like, you're quite an impressive person, and I feel like this expresses itself in the way you dress. We have 3 of Pentacles. What's the saying? Teamwork makes the spell work. Yeah, something about your work situation is coming through. And 12, the Patient Witch. Learn to get comfortable with sitting still whenever necessary. You know what's funny? Everybody, well, almost everybody in these particular cards are very lovely dressed, or there's attention to what they are wearing. And then in this one, she's like got her hat off, her shoes off, this, I'm assuming a sweater off, very laid back. I feel like Spirit is telling you that it's okay to dress casual every now and then. People will not think less of you for doing this. Everybody deserves to be in, you know, leisure wear every now and then, including in public. And you might think, no, I'm never going to be that person who wears, you know, sweats or my pajamas to the grocery store. And that's fair, pile 2. But I do feel that if you want to every now and then, just like wear sweatpants or something, or a t-shirt, it's okay. No one's going to think any less of you for it. Like, there are days where either you don't have time, you're just not feeling well, or I don't know, maybe you only allow a certain few people to see you this way. I know people who dress very well. For some reason, my line of work, I come across certain people who are this way. But every now and then, they'll do their own version of athleisure where they dress it down. Like, they might, instead of wearing that nice, you know, button-up shirt, they might just do like a t-shirt and their slacks. I don't know. It's just like, it's okay to let your guard down every now and then, because I feel like some of you might obsess a little bit over your clothing. Again, this is a wonderful thing about you, but you don't have to be in this mode all the time. But let's start over here with the good luck charm. So, oh wait, these came out together, so let me put them this way, because I feel like, yeah, and I'll read them together that way. And, okay. So, with good luck charm, I feel like a lot of you actually have a lot of good luck when it comes to your clothing. I feel like, especially if you thrift, you know exactly where to find like all the good brands, all the good labels. I feel like this is probably where you started your love of designer clothing, is going to thrift stores and just happening to find them. Or you may just have that kind of good luck where you find like really good clothing at thrift stores or at estate sales, something along those lines. Again, you accessorize very well. For those of you who do your nails, I feel like your nails are impeccable. Like, you get them done so nicely. Some of you have really nice hands, including if you have tattoos. This card, her makeup is standing out. So there's something here about your makeup being done very well. If some of you are into the, what's it called? The black cat female aesthetic, I feel like you carry it very well. You might just have it naturally. I know I do, that like this is my complexion, so I just naturally look this way, regardless of whether I'm wearing black or not. But some of you might have that, and people truly love that about you. It gives a classic kind of vibe. But yeah, I feel like you pay attention to small details here, and that ends up helping you out in the long run, because two people may wear the same outfit. I feel like this has happened to you before, where somebody wears the same outfit as you, but you just happen to have like the right accessories or the right scent. Your hair is done a certain way, or you just carry it better. Like, there is no competition with you when it comes to who is best dressed in town. Pile 2, with the King of Cups, there is something here about you having your days where you just want to be comfy. But it's almost like you don't like to. Like, you don't like to have those days because you never know who's going to show up at the house, or you never know when you're going to have to go out, and you just, want to get out and not have to worry about deciding on your outfit. It's giving very, how do I put this? Kind of like how back in the 1950s, women would wear their makeup and do their outfits really nice and wear their pearls just to clean around. It's giving that kind of vibe. That's not going to be for everybody, of course, but it's almost like you don't know how to relax because you never know who might be watching, especially if you work from home, or if you have I'm seeing like people on social media who always have to look good because they never know when they might have to snap a selfie, or when they go out, who they might run into. Something about public appearances is very important here. With the Queen of Swords, I feel like at a point in time, you really had to defend either how much you spent on your clothing or why you dress a certain way, or especially with your parents. I feel like your parents wondered why you had such bougie style when they probably didn't. And I feel like you're good at defending this, but you no longer do. Now it's just like, I don't have to. This is just what I want to wear, and you don't have to question it. Especially if your style is rather unconventional. I'm thinking of like, what's like a steampunk kind of style, or like a 1950s kind of style. Like, some of you might wear waist cinchers or corsets because you like their style and you like how they feel, but people question why you do, but you don't want to have to explain to them why you do. Same thing with anything like tattoos or piercings. Whatever you do, pile 2, you're doing you, and you don't care what people say. In fact, some of the things you might wear could actually have valid reasons. Again, if you have a corset, it could keep your back straight, or it could give you the figure you want. It all depends what that is here. And of course, take this however you need to take it. That's just an example. That doesn't mean everybody does. For some, if you're a man, you might wear like sock garters. That was very interesting. That's not going to be everybody, of course, but like, and maybe somebody saw them and you were like, well, they keep my socks up, so like, you don't want to have to explain, but you're used to it by now. You don't care. With the Empress, regardless of all of this, pile 2, again, people just find you very physically appealing. I feel like, especially if you dress well, some people wonder what your next outfit is going to be, what your next look is going to be, especially at an event. They're like, oh, I wonder how my pile 2 is going to dress up today. Or I wonder what they're going to come in wearing to work today. Especially the people who know you and they know that you're like a fashion icon, a local fashion icon. They wonder what you're going to wear next, or what your next photo is, what you will be wearing. And people probably spend some time watching it, dissecting exactly what it is that you wear. Mostly good, majority good, and some haters out there, but we don't worry about them, pile 2. And then, of course, these 3 came out together: the Sun, 3 of Pentacles, and the Patient Witch. Definitely something about you looking your best at work for some reason. Again, you could do something that where you have to present yourself in the public eye for work, like this is how you make your money. Or maybe there's like this thing with you and your coworkers where you just like to dress up really nice. It might be part of your job as well to dress in a certain way, especially if you work in the fashion and beauty industry. But then we have this card. This is supposed to be the Hanged Man in this particular deck. And it's kind of like part of you kind of wants to leave it, or maybe you have left it, because it's almost like it's hard to keep up with, but you don't want to necessarily do a 180. For example, let's say if you do work in the fashion industry and you love it because it allows you to, of course, wear whatever you want to look fashionable and also keep up with the latest trends, to see stuff on the runway if you have those privileges. But at the same time, it could be something that just tires you out because it's a very demanding job. Of course, I'm thinking of The Devil Wears Prada, the movie here. It's that kind of energy. But I am hearing that, well, one, don't be afraid to just relax every now and then, keep it casual when you need to and when it makes sense. And two, you can still retain that love of whatever it is that you do. You can take that style anywhere and you don't have to defend yourself. I think people don't understand that, honestly, when you dress the way you do, when you do your makeup, your style, whatever, even if it seems costumey to some people, there's a lot of people who truly appreciate it. I mean, think about it. Most people just wear jeans and a t-shirt, and there's nothing wrong with that, of course, absolutely nothing wrong, but most people do it because they don't have the energy, the resources, or even the knowledge of how to dress the way you do, pile two. So do it for the people out there who can't do it, because somebody has to. Somebody has to go around looking fabulous just the way that you do. But I do feel that you have a very supportive community of whatever it is that you love to wear, or whatever kind of clothing that you like, especially if it's very niche or specific. Regardless, you are very loved and very adored, and definitely people look up to you. But this is where I leave you, my beautiful pile two. Thank you so much for letting me read for you. If you feel like doing so, you can like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next reading. Take care. Hello there, my beautiful pile three. If you chose the butterscotch card and the clear quartz crystal, then we have your reading here for you about what people think of your style, your aesthetics, your looks, and however it is that you present yourself to the world. So you chose this card. This is from Gideon's Bakehouse in Orlando, Florida. They have the cutest, creepy aesthetic ever, and this is one of their characters that they use for their seasonal offerings. Because this cute little child is wearing like this little wolf costume, this is definitely somebody who loves to do Halloween right, or maybe you just really love to dress up in costumes. Cosplay could be a big thing for you, and especially if it means having to morph into like a different creature, I feel like this might be your pile. Of course, you don't have to be pile three. You could just love cute things in general. But let's go ahead and look at the card itself. In the cold of winter, a wolf moon shines bright, filling one girl's heart with deviant delight. For this one evening is her chance to roar when she's so very quiet the other 364. Her magic wolf pajamas change her demeanor from kind-hearted child to something a bit meaner. Scampering about, she barks and howls, scaring campers, joggers, and perhaps a few owls. And when she returns home to find dessert by the door, the sweet little butterscotch is quiet once more. That is so cute. Yeah, you're very cute, pile three. I feel like regardless, you definitely have a very cute style. Even if you're a guy, I'm pretty sure people have told you that you're very cute, or you probably dress in a way where you wear cute characters on you. I'm seeing like the guys who wear t-shirts with anime characters, or Pokemon cards, not cards, maybe you collect them, but definitely somebody who is very much into IP type of t-shirts. Not everybody, of course, but this is my playful fun pile, that's for sure. We're gonna look into the oracles and cards to see how it is that people perceive your style, what they think of you, as well as your actual appearance, like your face, your body, and whatnot. But we're going to start with Canas. So some of you might have a partner that you like to dress up with. Again, if you do cosplay, you could do cosplay with your partner, or you could just like to, match each other. Maybe you both like to, at the very least, dress in the same type of clothing. I'm thinking of like all those reels where the couples go out and like somebody is dressed really nice and the other one is dressed a little, bum-like, so they have to switch and make sure that they're vibing at the same kind of at the same style. You can't, one person dressing up more than the other just doesn't look right, like in that meme with Justin and Hailey Bieber. We have Ram and Dahlia, determination, strong Aries energy coming through. Yeah, this is going to be my most laid back pile so far, because when I think of Aries, not all of them, of course, there are Aries out there who dress really well, really impeccable, but to me, classic Aries is like jeans, t-shirt, and a leather jacket. I don't know why that is. We also have Uranus change. There is something quirky about the way you dress regardless. I feel like especially if you like to dress in very cute styles, you could go as far out as like a Lolita kawaii type of style or Harajuku inspired clothing, or you could do like low-key cosplay. Again, you might just be the person who loves to wear cute clothing. Definitely very Japanese inspired, I'm hearing for some of you. We also have Neptune vision. Yeah, again with the cosplay, because Neptune could be the planet of illusions and fantasy, especially with these two together. And then we have invasive, which is very interesting. I'm gonna have to read into, well, the book won't give us much about this, but something about, oh, okay. So what I'm getting from this card is like when you walk into a space, some people might have something to say about your style. Like some people can get offended by it because it's just so avant-garde or over the top. That's not going to be everybody, of course, but I do feel like you might get some stares from people like wondering what you're wearing. This could be both good and bad, of course. I feel like regardless, you draw attention with Uranus and Neptune here. This is my very dreamy pile, my very cute pile. But yeah, I feel like very clear cut. Your style is very cute, and you could be like the kind of person who loves to go to places like Disney World where dressing in a certain way doesn't really strike people any weird, or even what is it, Wizarding World, where going around in the robes is very normal because that's where they sell them. And of course, you're in Wizarding World where you take the best pictures with those robes. I feel like dressing up is really fun for you. So it's not necessarily that it's your everyday style, but when you can, you love to dress up in a good costume. Or even if it is your everyday style, you make it a point to be as cute and as authentic to you as possible. As far as actual appearance, there's something here about you appearing more youthful than you are. Or if not youthful, then there's something very unique about your features. A lot of you have very captivating eyes. Like I'm seeing very bright blue or very bright green kind of eyes, kind of like butterscotch here. If not that, then definitely like very big, cute eyes. The kind that pop, kind of like a Disney princess. I keep coming up with like cartoons and stuff in this pile, so I feel like a lot of you are influenced very strongly by like cartoons, movies, several fandoms, video games. I feel like a lot of you based your style off of that. And people find it fascinating. A lot of people love it. And then there are some people out there who are just going to hate. That's why we get this invasive card. And I feel like for a while, it definitely bothered you, especially in your 20s, because we have 22, 25, 26 here. You could be those ages, or like maybe that was the age where you just like grew into it and kind of stopped caring what people had to say about your adorable clothing. I do get the feeling that a lot of you like to create your own clothing as well, because it's just hard to find something that is very you-like out there. Or at least it used to be. I feel like a lot of stores and clothing brands are getting better about like anime t-shirts and stuff. You see them in like Target and Walmart now. When I was younger, you had to order them especially from a special place in Japan online. You know, that's not the case anymore. So you definitely grew up with that kind of, you either had that access to it or you understood what it was like having to really create the kind of clothing that you wanted to wear. Like I said, I feel like within your partnerships, you make sure that you and your partner dress very similarly. I'm not getting matchy-matchy, but I do see that you both like to wear like similar clothing. Like if you're both going to wear t-shirts, you're going to make sure it's like the same, like maybe the same characters or the same theme of it, or you're both wearing the same styles. Like if one of you is athletic, then the other person is also athletic. I'm wondering if this is my pile of people who started dressing better because of their partners as well. That's not going to be everybody, of course, but I feel like some of you felt that you really had to level up to be up with your partner's standards, depending on what it is that they do. Definitely started getting a glow up because some of you have partners that are like really good looking, so you wanted to like elevate your look to kind of match theirs. Even if it's somebody who dresses a little bit more bougie, maybe you wanted to do the same, so you started doing your hair and or makeup similar, or maybe just get nicer jewelry. With the Ram and Dahlia determination, you put a lot of effort into how you look and into how you dress and into the things you want to wear. And it's not necessarily your wardrobe. It's more like, what do I want to wear today and how can I make it look the way I want it to look? So definitely putting a lot of thought into certain outfits, into certain, again, cosplay. For those of you who do it, that's not going to be everybody, but it's kind of like con season where I am right now. And I'm just getting a lot of that. So yeah, I feel like a lot of you are not afraid to be inspired by fictional worlds, whether that's in books, movies, cartoons, whatever it is that you like, animation and video games, of course, because Neptune and Uranus, with these put together, you would get a very fantastical and unique fantasy world here. And even if you're not into any of that, I feel like regardless, you have a look about you that just says that you would be into very specific types of aesthetics that are hard to find. You definitely dress in like a more, because I keep seeing like Harajuku or Japanese type of styles where it's very colorful, cute, and it leans into, especially if you're a woman or dress feminine, it leans into like a very cutesy type of aesthetic. Maybe you seek out those kinds of clothes as well. Yeah, I feel like you're really good at finding one-of-a-kind clothing or importing clothing from different countries that just suit your style. And for some of you, you might even be like from a culture that doesn't understand this. So maybe you've had to like explain to your parents why you dress a certain way. They're like, where did you find that kind of clothing? And you're like, well, I just really like this. Yeah, it's going to be my pile with an absolute love, admiration, and affinity with Japan and Japanese style. And that's, of course, that's very common for my generation. So if that doesn't resonate, we do have two other piles for you, pile 3. But if it does, let's go ahead and move on to the tarot portion. So we're going to use the Cozy Witch Tarot. We're going to draw a few cards. I'm going to do 5 pulls, but it doesn't necessarily mean 5 cards, because with this particular deck, like the cards like to come out together. All right, my pile 3, we have Page of Pentacles. When life gives you lemons, make enchanted lemonade. Some of you like to save up money for like really nice pieces of clothing or really nice outfits. Or, like I said, some of you might make your own clothing. So maybe this is one way to save money, is by just buying fabric and thread and making your own thing here, as opposed to spending hundreds on something that you could easily make. We also have King of Pentacles. True success isn't just about money, it's about happiness too. You dress for the experience, you dress for the fun of it. It's not about status for you. It's about that emotional satisfaction. It's about the fun you have. It's the pictures that you will take that are going to give you memories. Like, yes, it's for the attention, but it's also through like meeting people because of that attention and creating friendships and fun times. Very lovely energy. We also have 15 toxic witches. Be cautious of those who take more than they give. I feel like a lot of you have dealt with people who just didn't appreciate your style or how you looked. Or some people may say that it's a bad thing. I don't know why I'm getting that so strongly within this pile. We also have 5 of Pentacles. Nothing is ever as hopeless as it seems. And 10 of Pentacles. Having it all looks different to everybody. Something about having and not having is of importance here. I feel like some of you may have struggled reconciling the fact that you wanted certain clothing but not having the money for it. Or again, like finding ways to afford clothing that you really like. Especially if it's something that you really want for like I know people, when they create their costumes for conventions, it's a lot of money, time, and effort that is put into these. And they have my utmost respect, because I could never have that kind of patience. So there's definitely something about you learning how to make money off of something that at once was something that pushed you to, for example, let's say you loved cosplay and you wanted to create things because buying them was too expensive. So you started that, but then that same skill ended up making you money. So it's kind of like you get a positive out of a negative here. And this is over a long period of time, of course. I think you had to really develop this skill. I have friends who have done this and they make good money around convention season because they have the skills to make, for example, fake weapons, fake accessories. Same thing with any type of clothing. It doesn't just have to be that. It could also be you knowing how to make a certain item, or if it's makeup, because I'm not seeing too much makeup here. Again, learning how to create looks with makeup that is less expensive than the ones that everybody wears. All right, last pull. Also, lots of Pentacles energy, very earthy. So Taurus, Capricorn, and Virgo. We also have the Lovers. Will you or won't you? The choice is yours. Yeah, like I said, something about partnerships is of importance here. I feel like maybe some of you met your partners through your style or your clothing. Like maybe it was something that you told them about a particular outfit or costume or something they were wearing, and this is just, you know, it's like, and that's how I met your parent, your mother, your father, or whatever here. Like there's definitely a story here about your look or your particular look and how you met your person, which is very cute, very lovely. And again, the both of you just look great together. I feel like you've blended your aesthetics to really suit you. You probably take very cute pictures as well. Very cute. I love this. This is very much one of those couples that like vibe the same style. Like people couldn't imagine you being with anybody else because you both dress the same, either the same way, or there's like couple goals here in pertaining to your style. Very cute. Again, if you cosplay, you could do like couples here. Like you could do the respective couples of whatever it is that you're cosplaying. Very cute. But let's start over here with the Page of Pentacles. Like I said, I feel like you came from very humble means, and therefore you've always dreamed of having like a very nice wardrobe. I'm also getting somebody who doesn't really like, for example, you have your days where you dress very plainly, very normally, not much makeup, just simple, again, jeans, t-shirt, or leggings, sweater, whatever it is that whatever basic is to you, that's what you wear on a regular basis. But then you have days, because you go from Page to King here, both in the Pentacle suit. But then you have days where you really dress up, you really put on, like you dress to the nines. So it's kind of like, I'm getting a Cinderella effect. Like most days you feel like the Cinderella who's, you know, cleaning the house, but then some days you're the Cinderella at the ball. So I feel like people have seen both sides of you, and it's kind of like an alter ego, and people truly like this. It's kind of fun because you never know which one's going to show up. That's not going to be for everybody. I guess it depends on your circumstances, but this is definitely the case here. With 15 Toxic Witches, I do feel that some of people envy the way you look, believe it or not. This is going to be the devil in this particular deck. Another way to see this is that some of you could spend a little bit more money than you want to on your looks, or you might have, this is not going to be everybody, again, I'm getting very particular things. Some of you might have like a very seductive look that people like. It's very intense and people are kind of like, oh, why are you wearing that? So I guess it depends on what it is. You might just have the body type that is like, because I'm seeing somebody, especially if you're a woman, who is very voluptuous, like so voluptuous that even the most basic clothing can look very, very seductive on you. And that's not your intention. That's just how you happen to look. And especially if you live somewhere where it's very warm and you want to dress, with a little less clothing, it can be very revealing without you meaning to. Again, this isn't for everybody. This is just for the select few who have this problem. I have friends who are like that, unfortunately, and all they ever feel comfortable in is t-shirts. But I am getting the feeling that you might have people who, again, maybe you've overheard them talking crap about your outfit, and that's made you really reevaluate how you dress, or maybe in the past you cared and now you don't. But again, very laid back styles. And I do feel like people are just envious that you're able to, again, glow up so well. Like one minute you look like, your average person, and then the next you're just an absolute drop dead gorgeous person, or a really, you're slaying essentially. And some people don't know how to do that. So don't worry about them. That's them. You do you, pile 3. With the 10 of Pentacles and a 5 of Pentacles, you've definitely had a glow up when it comes to your wardrobe or your looks. You can also see this as, let's say, for example, when you were younger, you didn't really wear makeup, but as you've gotten older, you've been able to invest more into your wardrobe, into your look, and you're able to really do your makeup well, or maybe you have some jewelry that is nice. I feel like this is my pile that very realistically levels up their style with however much money they make, or as the years go on, you can accumulate more. So you invest a little more. Definitely very introverted though, this pile. You're very sweet and you're very cute, pile 3, but you're definitely very introverted, which is very Interesting, because like I said, we have the lovers here. We have a lot of couples cards in this particular uh, pile, and we didn't really have that in the previous pile. So there were some messages about, partners that you attract. But in this one, it's kind of like some of you, if you haven't already met your partner because of your style or clothing, you might in the future, especially because it is the last card to come out and it's on this side. I am seeing like, this is very interesting. I'm seeing some of you might have a partner who likes to go to the thrift store with you, and maybe they make it a point to like look out for things that they know you would like to wear, or a partner who funds the things that you wear. Maybe they like to buy you, nice outfits or something. And for some of you, you may have, again, like I said this before, but you may have elevated your style or changed it, tweaked it to your liking due to them, especially if this is an example, just an example. And kind of like the Cinderella story as well. Maybe you came from humble means and your partner comes from a lot of money, or they make a lot of money, so they go to like fancy events every now and then. So you've had to, accumulate a wardrobe where you can wear fancy clothes or dress up really nicely and be able to, be the plus one to these kinds of events. That's not going to be for everybody, of course, but I am getting that very strongly, at least in this pile. This is funny. This is the first pile where I'm not really paying attention to what they are wearing because it's all basically the same. But something about just being very laid back and very chill here is of importance because they all are dressed very, very normally, with the exception of the Lover's card. They're both wearing like really nice outfits, and I feel like she's dressed like with this trench coat looking thing, and she's dressed a little bit more laid back. Like I said, some of you leveled up because of your partners or due to your partners. Maybe they fund your love of clothing or your love of fashion in this case. And in some cases, some of you could have been the one who came into money, and maybe with that money you found your partner, whether it was through work or something. I don't know. Something about your partner is coming through here. Let me know, pile 3, because I feel like it's different for everybody. And of course, you don't have to have a partner. This could just be like a partner in crime, like your best friend, and you both, again, really just help each other out in dressing in the most amazing way possible. Some of you might have a partner who's a photographer, and again, that could have helped you out somehow because now you're able to take better pictures, or maybe they have access to like fashion events or some kind of event where you're able to, again, go to these particular things. But regardless, pile 3, this is where I leave you. I hope this was helpful or accurate in some way, shape, or form. If you feel like doing so, you can like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next reading. Take care.